Bathroom renovation, episode 8, plastering the ceiling. So I've got this is 3x2 and I need it bigger for the niche. So on my calculations, that's the centre of the bath, and I need to build this out by about 40 mil, which will give us an even bigger niche than you could get with the 4x2 you normally do, which is going to work out well. So I've got to cut 30 mil strips to pack these 5 joists out. That should give me, with the 6mm Jacko board, should make that dead centre, I hope. Started boxing in the saw stack. So toilet will be next to it. Vanity is going to sit lovely right in between the windows for the sink, and a little cupboard will be there. And there is going to be a space, what did we say it was, here. The bath ends there. So I think it ends there. So we've got this gap, which we're not sure what we might put a wall unit in, but we don't want to lose the light coming in. So we'll see how we go. So I SBR the ceiling, and then that's going to get plastered, hopefully Sunday. So that'll be good. It starts to come together a little bit. Got to glue down the flooring. It's only temporary screwed at the moment, so I want to check. I've got to still do the 40mm waste connected up to the saw stack and test it, and then I'll seal the floor up. Alright, tea break. So I've got the 6mm board on. It's pretty square. I can always skim it with a bit of tile adhesive. Trouble is, these stud work, you get cheap ones from Wicks, £3.75 for a 2.4 metre length. They're bowed, a lot of them. I should have gone and paid more and got the primed planed all round PAR. So that's a lesson learnt. But we're using mosaics on there, so you won't notice that much. If it is slightly, I think it's about 88 degrees, not 90. So yeah, carry on. Next job is to prime the ceiling for plastering. I foamed that area because of backer board. I'll pack that out. Backer board's going on there. Backer board going on the door, so I'll have to pack this out a little bit with extra. Seal the door, that's not being used. And yeah, backer board all round, floor and wall. Hold tight. So SBR time. One part SBR to 1 water in the roller. I've done the ceiling. I'll get another coat tomorrow before I plaster it. Got to do all the walls because I'm using adhesive and screws for these Jacko boards. So I've SBR'd everything. I've got to do the floor and a bit more of the walls. So I'm just rollering it on with a roller. Bit of a messy job. Good morning. So today, bit of bonding coat on this chase here. That's all I need to do there. I've cut a template for my 150 centres for the shower. And then I'm going to plaster the ceiling. I SBR'd it yesterday. I'll SBR it again in a minute and then start applying the plaster when it starts to dry. I've SBR'd this twice, just about 20 minutes ago. So that will take the bonding okay. And yeah, so plaster the ceiling today. I'm going to get some stop ends for here and then test this from the isolation valve upwards for leaks. And then we can start putting the tiling board over there. Got to sort the door out. I foamed this yesterday, and that can take back a board. I just got to flatten it off a bit. So all good. Hold it tight. So I got the bonding coat on. Dropped a bit. I've put the second coat of SBR on, 1-to-1 mix, and then I shall start mixing up the plaster in a minute, and then we'll have a go at plastering. So I mixed the multi-finish, 5 litres of water to half a bag of multi, so 12 kilogram. I'll start plastering the ceiling now. So the bonding coat's on, starting to go off. That's the Artex part of the ceiling. I didn't have quite enough on the first mix. I should have used 6 litres of water. but I used 5. You need 11 litres for a full bag, so I've only got 1 bag. So it's quite thin really over the Artex, but I've got enough left now to do that. It's starting to pull in. I flattened it with the old speed skim. So the next coat will be going on in a minute. Oh, what a day. Well, I've seen it go perfectly. It's not as I'd want it. I put the first coat on, went on lovely. Didn't use any retarder. And then put the second coat on. It just went off like a rocket. It was too thick even when I started. So halfway through, I'm damaging the first coat with the second coat. So then I didn't really do any of the stages of plastering. It had gone off so much that I was just using a wet brush on the plaster and troweling it out, and then a bit of a dry trowel. But it was just all the stages after stage 2. I flattened it with my flattener, my spatula, my speed skim. But the second application had gone off too quick to even use that. So we'll see how it comes out. I can use easy feel, but my shoulder's killing me. Plastering isn't for me, but this is probably the hardest one I've ever done. So yeah, so lesson learned, use retarder in future, double time and whatever. Anyway, on with getting the floorboards up now to connect the 40mm waste. Hold tight. Right, 6:30, it's Friday evening. Bonding coat's on, plaster's on. Got electrocuted by that light for some reason. I think the fitting's dodgy. I'm going to change that for a brushed steel proper one, because as I turn the light off, it's still letting it electric through. So there's something wrong with that. And I've got this propped up. So this is the shower valve. They're spot on plumb, 150 centres and dead level on the spirit level. And then I shall add boards around this with tile adhesive later. So we'll be boarding. I've got all the floor up, so I need to test. I've got a FlexCon 2 on there, and that's my 40 waste. That's for the 32 waste for the sink. That's the sink vanity hot and cold feeds. I must remember to mark them. And the toilet cold feed, and then my bath trap, which I might have to adjust. I've left myself room to cut that down. 22mm outlets, hot and cold for the bath. So look out for episode 9 where I'll be boarding the walls. Hold tight.